Hello and welcome to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk. I'm your host for tonight, Coach Kevin Bull Jones. It's been a little while since I've been in the driver's seat and went ahead and bring some people in to talk. And I'm going to tell you right now, sports fans, parents, players, coaches of sons and daughters that play sports, I got a gem for you tonight. I got a person here, a dear friend of mine, a veteran coach in Clayton County, a football, but more importantly, a lot of baseball. Now he's getting a chance to watch his son, who's currently now with the Carolina Panthers, former Mundy's Mill running back, Minnesota Gophers running back, and now with the Carolina Panthers, Rodney Smith is here, his son. And sports fans, something special tonight. We're going to do a tag team duo of just talking about the processes of success and what it's been like as a father and as the son, the player, just making it and staying on task. So if you enjoy the show, please share. Come on in and share. Coach Smith, Rodney, how we doing tonight?
Coach, great, man. First of all, I want to thank you for having me on tonight, man. Thanks. It means a lot to be able to come on and share my story, and my son share his story.
Feeling good. Yeah, like you said, excited to join you on your podcast and can't wait to share.
Well, listen, this is the special part for me because watching you, Rodney, play high school football, and here's the reality. I'm just going to go ahead. I got a confession. I knew you as a top baseball prospect. I saw you throwing that ball. Before I was on the other side at Lovejoy coaching against you as defensive coordinator when you were running the football. I remember the baseball. The baseball was the stuff that I was in the wow factor with. So, when all of a sudden it came to the football aspect, all of a sudden, you kind of ran upside our heads a couple of times, and that turned the lights. I was like, I didn't know that he did both. So, your dad kind of kept that from me back in the day, being great rivals and you at Mundy's Mill, and me at Lovejoy and getting to watch you play was totally special. I am so glad to be able to dip into the south side of Clayton County, south side of Atlanta, and bring a story of greatness, of just happiness for you as a player, and coach, for you as somebody I still look up to, in all that you've done in baseball, how many kids you've signed to scholarships. I mean, how many region titles, state playoffs. I mean, a lot of embodiment of helping kids get to school, Coach Smith, is what you've done. And talk about that for a minute.
Well, Coach, I appreciate the opportunity once again. But yeah, I've been at this a long time. I'm starting my 30th year this year, 19th in Clayton County. And I'm just so grateful and so thankful to have that opportunity. It's always been a dream of mine. I kind of knew what I wanted to do coming out of high school, excuse me. I knew, if I didn't get the opportunity to play at the next level, I wanted to be a coach and give back. And it's just been a blessing. And being in Clayton County definitely has been a blessing. Being able to coach my son, that was one of the things I wanted to do. Could have always went to the collegiate level, but never really had any interest. I'm kind of a family-oriented man. Spending time, that is, more time being in high school. And I just wanted to coach him and be close to my family, man. And it's been great. It's been great. As far as football, I started my career down in Griffin. I was there for 7 years. I went to the Cab and I was over at Stevenson for 4 years. Then I made my way to Clayton County. Been in Mundy's Mill ever since '04. And
now, Coach, what was it like? Tell me, because I share that with you and had a chance to coach my oldest son, Austin, in football and baseball, and I was a very good baseball coach. I was just kind of holding it down till we got some backup in there. But what was it like, watching Rodney in his younger years and watching him? Because a lot of people have their thoughts about it, but you lived it. What was it like for you?
Well, Coach, I was so close to it. I as a parent, I couldn't really see it. I was a coach. I treated him no different. Probably was harder on him. Probably say it. in baseball. So I didn't see it. Other people would tell me, but I didn't see it. Yeah, he always got the conversations in the cars. So I guess I was just in that coach mode. But it was a joy watching him. I knew he had talent,
Right.
and I had a philosophy, and I'm gonna be quiet. I wanted to make sure he had the fundamentals, and I kind of instilled that in him when he was younger, and his talent kind of just took off on his own.
And Rodney, tell me what was it like playing for your dad, really in both sports? What was it like for you? And I want you to tell me what it was like for you at an early age, because I got a 12-year-old son who told me, this is true story, sports fans. He told me at the age of 8 years old, after watching me coach my older daughters in tennis and my son in baseball, older son, he told my baby's boy, Chase, told me, he said, Daddy, I don't want you to coach me. I just want you to show up at the game. Now, Rodney, that really, my hair stand up on my arms. That's a true story. And I know my wife is watching. But Rodney, tell me your point of view. I want the sports fans to know, as a athlete in your younger days and matriculating through, getting better at whichever sport, tell me what it was like for you.
I definitely can relate to what your son told you. But I think that's just a son being a son, or a child being a child. When you're at home, that's your parent and your coach. And for me, he was in the school too, so he was my teacher too. So like he said, it was 24/7. But you grow to appreciate it when you get older. And like he said, he definitely was thick on teaching me the fundamentals, and it turned out well for me. Like I said, the fundamentals is key to any game that you playing, whether that's football or baseball. And he made sure that he instilled the fundamentals in me at a young age. I remember going to Panhandle Park at 8 years old. And even younger than that, and being out there just me and him. And if you want to do what you say you want to do, then you gotta be able to do these things and master those things. And like I said, worked on them day in and day out, and I'm where I am now. Like I said, he definitely helped me out along the way, stayed on me, and we butt heads, but it all turned out the way it was supposed to turn out.
Now I'm gonna go ahead and put both y'all on the spot, but Rodney, I want you to answer this. I don't want Coach Smith to answer this. Now, did it ever come home where Mama had to intervene and say, okay, y'all need to stop talking sports at the dinner table or not in the car? Did you ever have that moment? I want the truth.
Yeah, it definitely got there a few times, but like I said, I knew it was nothing but love.
Right.
As a child, you don't always see it that way. You like, oh man, he on me. Like, he just nitpicking. My teammate did this, or why he talking to me that way? But like I said, it was all out of love. He had the vision that I couldn't see when I was younger.
Wow.
Like I said, it all panned out the way it was supposed to pan out.
Did you ever feel like there was more pressure because your father was head baseball coach and you all had a fantastic coach? You had a fantastic run with those baseball teams down there at Mundy's Mill. And did you ever feel the pressure from the baseball aspect? Maybe not so much the football, but the baseball aspect.
No, I didn't feel any pressure.
Okay.
And he made sure that he didn't put pressure on me.
Gotcha.
I just played the game. If you played it the right way, like I said, if you had the fundamentals and played the game the right way and respected the game, and like I said, everything would turn out the way it's supposed to turn out. So I kept that mentality and played that way, respected the game, and like I said, had success in baseball as well as football. And he'll tell you I was raised and bred to be a baseball player. So,
yep.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, I know that story. That's what, even in the past talking, I remember you being the baseball player and throwing the baseball until it looked like a little BB, a little pellet. I remember that. I remember you hitting. the running back aspect of it, of course, we were at the rival school, Lovejoy, and we had that crazy run of success down there. But you all knew our defense, but for some reason, I kept seeing this guy running this ball at us, and he never stopped, and he kept churning his legs, and I had to ask somebody. I said, "Who is this guy? Who is this kid running this ball?" I didn't know that it was you because I assumed that you were just in baseball. So when did it change for you? And keeping in mind you had to make a decision. I want to hear both sides. I want to hear from you, Coach Smith, as a father, in the recruiting, in the baseball, when it changed or if it changed, and the football aspect. And then, Rodney, I want you to give your point of view as the former player in high school having to make a decision about what you're going to do. So, Coach Pat, go ahead and give us that.
Well, Coach, I trained him to play both of them. I ain't gonna say train. That's a bad word. But in football, I knew he was gonna be a natural. Okay. He loved the sport, so hey, go play it. I just couldn't see that either. I didn't see it. But baseball, I felt like he had the 5 tools that they look for guys to make it. And he got injured. He got injured his junior year and kind of went to the bottom of the food chain in football. But I saw a kid work so hard to get back, man, and I knew he was special then. I always knew it, but he worked so hard to get back, and he had even a better season his senior year. Anybody run for 2,000 yards?
Yes. With a knee brace on. With a knee brace on. I'm sorry, I stepped up and said that. I'm gonna get back in my commentary spot. But it was a knee brace, sports fan. He ran for 2,000 yards. Now he didn't get all those yards on me, but he got enough of them.
Yeah, I knew then, Coach. Baseball is going to be hard to hold him, man. Even though Arizona Diamondbacks really wanted to draft him, they really, really followed him. They really, really wanted him. And he said, he can't make it. He's just not going to be big enough in football. Wow. I kind of looked at him, but he proved him wrong. And he really worked hard. And it's what he wanted. So you have to go with the kid's heart.
Amen. And I remember that injury, and I'm just on the outside looking in. My heartfelts were with you at that time, and just to watch you, because I did know that you were a prospect in baseball, so I knew that. So and as much as your dad and I would talk all the time, and my oldest son Austin was not at that level yet, but just hearing the joy in his voice talking about you, and that happens with all of us dads. We like to talk and brag about our kids. Sometimes we brag more than what our kids really do, but then when you did it, then it was wonderful. I mean, it was beautiful because I'm like, hey, this does dreams come true. So then when you got injured, it was amazing how you came back and you ran with a vengeance. I want you to talk about that briefly, about at that transition, after you got hurt.
Yeah, so like my dad said, I initially I thought I was gonna play baseball, but I tore my ACL my junior year playing football, and I missed my entire junior year of baseball. And like I said, I dedicated myself to getting back, being healthy, just being healthy, whether that was for football or baseball. But obviously, I took the football route. Um, Long nights, early mornings, a lot of work put into it. Like I said, my parents were here with me. I had a lot of support from everybody. And like I said, I just when you put in that much effort and time into to getting back and doing something, coming back and exceeding and having the success that I did, I just chose to keep playing football. And I wasn't too familiar with how baseball, how the recruiting went.
Okay.
I didn't hear too much from teams about baseball. Teams started calling for football my junior year when I was rehabbing, so I just stuck with football because that's what I was hearing. That's the people who were reaching out to me was mostly colleges for football. So like I said, dedicated myself to getting back and playing football, and had the success playing football.
Well, success is a short term word. That's not heavy enough, Rodney, because we got some clips. My producer Jeremiah is going to roll some clips of you when you was playing at University of Minnesota. And by the way, they did a fabulous job of recruiting the Metro Atlanta area. Hats off to them. I cannot remember the coach, running back, position coach that had Metro Atlanta, Georgia. Rodney, I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, but he did an unbelievable job of recruiting Atlanta, because it was you and your linebacker teammate that were there together. I think that he took you all out. And I tell you right now, I want you, as we watch these videos, these cut-ups of you running the football, the leading rusher in Minnesota Gopher history with over 5,000 yards. Sports fans, that's a whole lot of running. I want to talk about how that made you feel leaving that far away from home. And then, Coach Smith, I want you to talk about what it was like having to watch your son play so far away, and you be that strong support, you and your wife, with him so far away. First, Rodney, let's start with you.
So actually, in high school, I told one of my baseball coaches that, this was a son, like I said, we had our run-ins, we butted heads, and I told one of my high school baseball coach, Coach Aaron. I told him I would go to school as far away from home that I could get. And it just so happened that the University of Minnesota was the best offer that I had, and it turned out to be far away. But no, Minnesota, it was my best opportunity. I learned a lot in Minnesota. I didn't know anything about the Twin Cities. I didn't know that Minnesota had that much to offer. It has the most Fortune 500 companies up there. It's easy to network. And like I said, I met a lot of good people up there. I learned a lot in Minnesota. And to leave the University of Minnesota as the career, have the all-time career all-purpose rushing title, not rushing title, but all-purpose title, it meant a lot to me. Like I stepped in the University of Minnesota just wanting to play football and get to the next level. But to leave with my name in the record books is a feeling that I'll never forget. Now it wouldn't have been possible without all of my teammates, my coaches, like I said, my parents supporting me. They came up often, made sure they came to the games. So that was definitely fun to have my name etched in the record book in Minnesota.
I think it's even special coming from Clayton County. For some reason, they used to say we don't play real football in Clayton County. But when I was with our head coach, Al Hughes, and as his defensive coordinator, we had a chance to show, because you all went deep in the playoffs, I remember, as well, when you had all those yards rushing, and we were on the other end trying to make things happen. So got a chance to show folks across the state of Georgia that there is some good football in Clayton County. And it was a joy to see you go up to Minnesota and play. And I was able to catch those. I had to, that was before the Big Ten Network really started up the way it is now, but I was still able to catch a couple of those games. And people say, man, that guy's not from Clayton County. I said, yes, he is. I said, you want me to call his daddy right now? I'll call his daddy right now. Okay, so with that being said, Coach Smith, you tell me, as a parent. Now we in parent role now. I'm learning. My wife had to teach me this. I learned when to be in coach mode and when to be in daddy mode. So talk to me from daddy parent role mode, where you were when he signed that scholarship. He went all the way out to Minnesota.
Man, that was the best feeling on earth, Coach. I gave him my blessings. That's what he wanted, and I knew it'd be a great opportunity. It was a Big Ten school, Power 5, and just a great opportunity, like you said. But to me, also letting him go that far, I said it's just 2 hours away.
Yeah. On the plane.
So, and how I look at it is because we, 30 minutes from Delta, it's in our backyard, in the airport, and believe it or not, we went to every home game. We traveled all across the Big Ten for the past 5 years. I mean, we went to every stadium and enjoyed it.
Wow.
and it paid off. So it was just a 2 hour trip. We was up late Friday night, early Saturday morning, getting on planes. His whole college career. So it was a short trip for us, and we
Well,
loved
I just saw some of the pictures you used to post sometimes, and it was great to watch. The smile on your face. When I got a chance to watch my son play collegiate baseball, I mean, man, recruiting visits. I'm nudging him. So what do you want to do? We went all these recruiting visits, and I'm like, oh, so what do you want to do? And my wife is telling me, would you please be cool? You're not going to school. He is.
it.
And I had to kind of remember that.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to sit back, and that's not, everybody knows me. That's not my true MO. And so to be able to watch the joy on your face, and I think about the blessings of all the kids that you've helped. It's just amazing how it can come full circle. And then when it's your own child, and he enjoys the fruits of labor, especially coming through the injuries, and being able to sustain and get to play collegiate football. Let's just leave it there. Collegiate football. You get to pop on the TV and watch, and or be there. I think that is a joy that, that's one of those priceless moments.
Yeah.
All right. So now we get to the season's over. Okay. The season's over. You got a little banged up in a bowl game, right, Rodney?
Yes,
So
sir.
you didn't get a chance to tell us this process you went through when it was time to get ready for the draft.
Okay, so in the bowl game, the first or second play of the game, I fractured my sternum. So I just got tackled, and the linebacker fell on me, and I just kind of like body just got collapsed on. And I thought it was my shoulder, so I went to the sideline, and I told coach, and I was like, they asked me if I was all right and if I wanted the shot, and I was like, nah, I should be fine. Like I feel fine. Like, so I ended up finishing the whole game with a fractured sternum. Went and got the X-ray, and I was supposed to play in the East-West Shrine game.
Yep.
Wasn't able to play in that, of course, because I was injured. Didn't get a combine invite.
Wow.
That was tough for me. I took that a little. I took that to heart.
Right.
So I was preparing for a pro day, and of course, last year COVID happened.
Yep.
So I wasn't able to have a pro day. So I wasn't able to actually be in front of NFL personnel
Right.
the entire process.
Right.
And I was already an older guy. Like I said, I was a 6-year senior.
Gotcha.
So I figured that would affect me in my process. Like I said, not being able to get in front of them, and already being older, I figured that would affect me. So draft rolled around. I ended up undrafted. Signed with the Carolina Panthers right after the draft.
Right.
And I got COVID right before training camp. So I reported for training camp, and we had a conditioning test, and I couldn't pass it.
Wow.
Because COVID was affecting me.
Yeah.
So I got cut. I was at home for maybe 6 or 7 weeks, and they called me in for a workout.
Gotcha.
And they ended up signing somebody else. So I came home that weekend, and they ended up calling me again that Monday to sign to the practice squad. So
Wow.
got my foot in the door.
Yep.
Mind you, I hadn't played any football. I'm used to doing spring ball.
Yep.
Training camp. So I hadn't played any football. So go in, sign to the practice squad. It's new guys, new team, new coaches. Had to relearn the stuff that I learned, the plays, the playbook. And I ended up, somebody else got hurt, and I ended up signing to the active roster. So I got a chance to play in a few games, and last game actually ended up starting. So it was definitely a wild journey that entire year.
Wow.
Like I said, thankful, just thankful. Stayed the course, trusted the process, just kept working, and like I said, it turned out the way it was supposed to turn out.
Amen. Amen. A true testament. I'm gonna need you to understand that in your journey, in your path through life, there's gonna come a time when there's gonna be some guys that needs to hear your story. Those folks that's not listening today. At some point in time, this is gonna come back around for some folks and their why for why they want to do what they do. But more importantly, like you said, trust in the process. And them football angels were taking care of you very well because you were a student of the game to be the best you could be. And now, here you are with the Carolina Panthers. And I mean, that is just, truly a story that everyone can't rival, and I wouldn't be surprised one day when you really, those blessings really finish coming down because they just started, that'll take you even to higher places. Now, Coach Smith, from a dad standpoint, tell me where you were when all this went down after he finished playing at Minnesota. Briefly tell me what went through your mind, this whole process, the peaks and valleys, the highs and lows. Give it to me.
I tell you, Coach, I was hurting on the inside like he was, man. I felt it, but I never showed it to him. I said, a setback is just a setup for something bit greater.
Wow.
And never gave up on him. He never gave up on himself, man. And just his faith in God. Just his faith in God, Coach. I think really what pushed him through because I seen him at some low places sometimes,
right.
But he never gave up. He never gave up his faith, kept his faith and kept grinding. And of course, it wasn't easy now. It's talking, but, just the motivation and being consistent with, hey, you're doing this, you're doing this, you're doing that, making sure that he followed through on what he needed to follow through on. And he didn't like it at times. What God has for you, man, he's got for you. And that's what I believed, and that's what he believed. And we're praying family, Coach. And it worked out. I just thank God showed favor.
Amen. Well, that's why I wanted you guys to come on, because I wanted to be able to share those labors of love and the things that, Coach, that is true. That is a testimony for that you're giving, that we talked so many times in private, because, my oldest son, collegiate playing baseball and his highs and lows, but now I got a baby boy and he hurt my feelings, Coach, and told me he didn't want me to help him. But he just want me, Coach, and nobody gonna believe this. I hope Tyler Perry's watching so he can put this in a movie script. Y'all can be in it too. We all can be in it together, because I needed therapy. We were driving in a car and my son told me, I don't want you coaching me. Coach, I was crushed. With 6 kids, everybody plays sports. Everybody, 4 girls, 2 boys, everybody plays sports. And the baby boy said he didn't want me coaching him.
Keep grinding, Coach. Don't take it personal. Just keep grinding with him. Make sure he's at the cages.
That's what I'm going to do that. Because I'm learning to be humble on this journey with him, and a lot of stuff going on in baseball. I just don't know it like that. But I have people such as yourself, Skip Nellums, the Brinkleys, the Brinkley brothers, Craig Chapman. I got so many wonderful people. 7,000, Stan Terrell, Coach Jermaine Johnson, Eddie Phelps. Greg Goodwin. I got some really good people that I can ask for help on this stuff, this baseball journey, and so far it's working out. I wish we had more time. I want to tell you all, I really would like for us, especially before Rodney gets to get ready to go to camp, I would like for us to come back and have a part 2, because I want you all to give some lessons for the players and the parents on how they should approach this stuff. Because sometimes, I'm not saying they don't know, but it's okay to give them a better guide of how to attack the recruiting process, and knowing when to be, and Coach Smith, when to be dad, when to just chill out and watch your kids and sit back and fold your arms back and just enjoy what you see. Because all of us need that. I needed it. It just happens. I had a whole bunch of kids, so I learned the hard way. But I would like for you all to come back and us do a part 2 to this. Rodney, if you would agree to it, I'm putting you on the spot before you have to leave for camp. Dad, I need both of y'all to come back, okay? I'm thankful that you all had a chance to come spend some time today. thank you for taking time out. We're going to do part 2 of this real soon because I want you all to give those key things that you all think are keys to success for kids that want to play collegiately in whatever sport, particularly football. And then, Coach Smith, just as the parent process, because, Lord knows they need one too.
That's right. That's right.
But I want to thank you all for coming out on the show today. Thank you so much for coming to share time.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having us.
I appreciate you. Well, that's it, folks. If you enjoyed the show, just go ahead and make sure that you share it. Once again, thank you on behalf of my producer, Jeremiah. Thank you so much for tuning in to 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk.